excess at the end. Perhaps the next major prophecies dealing with economics are the well-known blessing and cursing chapters of Leviticus 26 and Deuteronomy 28. In them, Elohim promises good economic reward for obedience to his commandments and dire punishments for forsaking him. The economic blessings include precipitation, productivity, prosperity, peace, and power. Alternatively, if the Israelites turned to idols, they could expect terror, confusion, disease, defeat, drought, famine, infertility, invasion, enslavement, and exile. These chapters bear deep study because the nations of Israel, once blessed tremendously for Abraham's faithfulness, are now reaping the whirlwind for their sinfulness. We must remember the world has little or no idea what true peace is or how it is achieved. Yet we can produce godly peace even in the midst of turmoil. And we must, for we bear in our bosom the Prince of Peace. Where is Israel today? Elohim's ironclad promises to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob give ample clues for identifying Israel. And the answer is surprising. Once blessed tremendously for Abraham's faithfulness, are now reaping the whirlwind for their sinfulness. Less well known than Jacob's blessing on Israel is Moses' blessing of the tribe just before his death, Deuteronomy 33. Like Jacob's blessing, Moses' blessing is a prophecy concerning the dispositions of the tribe down through history and includes some economic features. For instance, he asked Elohim to bless Levi's substance. Deuteronomy 33 verse 11. Bless his substance, Yahuwah, and accept the work of his hands. Strike the loins of those who rise against him and of those who hate him, that they rise not again. Naphtali will be full of the blessing of Yahuwah. Verse 23. And Zebulun and Issachar, treated together, will partake of the abundance of the seas. As in Genesis 49, the primary economic blessings go to Joseph. Deuteronomy 33 verses 13 through 17. And of Joseph he said, Blessed of Yahuwah is his land with the precious things of heaven, with the dew, and the deep lying beneath, with the precious fruits of the sun, with the precious. If I don't get to read all of it, you can always look it up. Deuteronomy 33, you can look up all of it. With the precious produce of the months, etc. You can look the rest of it up. The later prophets predict that various economic factors will be involved in increasing troubles before the return of Yahushua HaMashiach. Many of these conditions mirror the situation faced by Israel and Judah in their respective declines and falls in Old Testament times, showing that economic elements accompany the political and military indicators that we are more likely to recognize. For instance, in Isaiah 1, verse 22, the prophet records that in Jerusalem, your silver has become dross, your wine mixed with water. The prophet wow. Under the prophet records that in Jerusalem your silver has become dross. Though this speaks primarily of the people's spiritual condition, it certainly applies literally too. So a sign of Judah's decline was the devaluation of her currency. Money would not buy what it used to be able to purchase. The illustration pictures what had once been pure silver and of full value is now so diluted by baser metals that it is essentially worthless. The debasing of currency then becomes a recognizable precursor of decline and eventual national collapse. The next chapter says that just before the day of Yahuwah, the Israelites' land is also full of silver and gold, and there is no end to their treasures. Their land is all full of horses, and there is no end to their chariots. Isaiah 2, verse 7. Israel at the end is tremendously wealthy, and everyone in the land lives like a king. The people have so many vehicles that they seem to cover the whole country. Does this sound familiar? Isaiah 3, verses 16 through 23 describe the wealth, finery, and attitudes of Israelite women as the end nears, and it does not paint a pretty picture. See also Amos 4, verses 1 through 3. He depicts them as haughty and wanton with more clothes, jewelry, makeup, and accessories than they know what to do with. Economically, the passage indicates a society of so much wealth and leisure that its women are indulged and free to pursue their desires to excess. Just a few chapters away in Isaiah 5, verse 8, Elohim pronounces a woe on those who join house to house. They add field to field, till there is no place where they may dwell alone in the midst of the land. His curses against those who buy land in great swaths and develop huge houses and tracts on them, giving each family little room to live. He promised in the next verse that many of those houses will lie empty, and all that land will yield little profit. This is just a sampling of the economic elements brought out in Old Testament prophecy. Nearly every chapter brings out some detail, sometimes major, sometimes minor, regarding the financial circumstances we should see at the end time.